So we're going to watch some of this because there is a section on 𝗪𝗙 Johnson. For those of you who haven't seen the video, I have a video, guys, about 𝗪𝗙 Johnson. It is this one right here. Trump exposed again. Disturbing clip from accuser goes viral. This is from 3 weeks ago. If you haven't seen it, you want to watch it for later. But that is the video that is about 𝗪𝗙 Johnson. Now, to refresh you before we watch this, 𝗪𝗙 Johnson was a young woman who made some claims of being sexually abused by Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein at age 15. Okay? She had some very specific claims about the abuse involving some oral, involving her and a Latino girl named Maria having to perform for Trump and on him. And so what happened was she filed a suit in civil court in San Bernardino, California. And the suit was not filed correctly. Also, there was a guy, a former producer of the Jerry Springer show, that had befriended her and was helping her file this suit, and he filed it incorrectly. And he was also trying to sell her story to like TV shows and shit. So then she ended up like separating from him. That first suit was filed incorrectly and it got thrown out. So she separated from him, from the producer guy, and she went into hiding. And then she came back out with Lisa Bloom. And Lisa Bloom is the lawyer who represented Bill O'Reilly's victims. And she's a very well-known lawyer that handles sexual assault cases. 𝗪𝗙 Johnson resurfaced with Lisa Bloom. They filed a suit in New York, and then there was a press conference set up, and then she got a whole bunch of death threats, and at the last minute, she opted out of the press conference and withdrew her suit. So, 𝗪𝗙 Johnson is still sort of in hiding, but people are still hoping 𝗪𝗙 Johnson shows up at some point.
I turn around and I receive this summons and a complaint, and the averments in it are awful. They're despicable. It talks about basically of an underage female claiming and alleging that Donald was involved in it and all that other nonsense.
This is definitely the 𝗪𝗙 Johnson case.
I ended up taking a private investigator and trying to find out who this person was.
Oh, shit, bro. Dude, that's fucking crazy. Like hiring a private investigator to find out who the Jane Doe is after like talking to the lawyers. So for what? What are you going to do with that information there, boss?
And we went to the address that allegedly this minor lived at in the Bronx. Well, lo and behold, the investigator responds back and says the only thing that's there is an empty parking lot. There's no building there. It's an empty lot. And so I reached out to the lawyers and I asked them, have you ever met your client? And their answer was no. I said, well, how the hell did you sign the case up? And they're like, listen, we screwed up. I'm sorry. You know, I'm like, whoa. Hold on 1 second. You know,
dude, what? The lawyers are like, oh, yeah, we screwed up. Whoops, parking lot. Dude, this is not very believable, right? We screwed up. We're sorry. Dude, like, oh, shit. Yeah, lo and behold, she knew you were going to bring somebody with a weapon to the address. So guess what? There was nothing there.
I sent an investigator to check out this address. There's no building there.
Is this 𝗪𝗙 Johnson or was this a different Jane Doe?
That was a Jane Doe.
No, because 𝗪𝗙 Johnson also files a Jane Doe in New York.
Well, so I don't know if it's the same person or not.
Was it a girl?
𝗪𝗙 Johnson's case in New York was filed with Lisa Bloom, but he hires an investigator. I mean, he is lying. Well, because here's the deal. I don't remember a lot of Jane Doe. Like, I feel like this is a court filing, okay? If it's not 𝗪𝗙 Johnson, hold on. I mean, I think there's only one Jane Doe in fucking New York.
Girl who said she was 13 years old and was raped in Epstein's house with President Trump? Is it the
To be
same
very
one?
honest, I don't remember the full. I
1994.
don't remember the full scope of it. All I
Lisa
remember.
Bloom. You would remember the lawyer. It was Lisa Bloom. Came out in November
There was
2016.
no. It was not Lisa Bloom.
Yes. Okay, so he is lying, right? It sort of has to be her, which is crazy because check it out. Look at the setup here. There's a definite flaw here because the suit filed in San Bernardino by Katie Johnson / Jane Doe used a non-existent address. And that was part of the reason it got knocked and her credibility got dinged. And that suit was filed by that producer. Okay. In New York City, the suit was filed with Lisa Bloom. So it was filed legitimately. So what's happening here is Michael Cohen is saying the first time the suit was filed, they sent a private investigator to look at this person. There were no lawyers in San Bernardino, so he didn't talk to any lawyers. It was filed by that producer with an address that didn't exist, but it wasn't in the Bronx. It was in Indio, California, or 29 Palms, one of the desert communities. Okay, so Michael Cohen is taking events that happened with that first suit, and he's superimposing them over this New York Jane Doe suit, but that one was filed with Lisa Bloom, a very well-known attorney, and there wasn't a fucking address except Lisa Bloom's law address. And so the reality is either Michael Cohen is making it up and lying straight out through his teeth, just using details he picked up from like the news, or what he did was he sent an investigator to find her identity after that first lawsuit and never talked to a lawyer, and now is pretending like the lawyers told him that they were full of shit and this was all BS, when in fact that second lawsuit came from Lisa Bloom and was absolutely above board. So yeah, he is on the big fucking con, bro. He is on the major con. Okay, the major con. Oh, I don't remember the details, right? Either way, he's full of shit. He's lying. He's lying, and he's not giving us a truthful picture of what went on, other than to imply that if somebody does a Jane Doe suit against them, they hire private investigators and they try to hunt the person down, which tells you a lot about their mob-style tactics. That, like, instead of respecting the lawsuit and the lawyers, they go looking for the fucking, right? Let's find the identity of this person and do our own shit. You know what I mean? Oh, my God, dude. Crazy.
Is this Katie Johnson, or was this a different Jane Doe?
That was a Jane Doe.
No, because Katie Johnson also files a Jane Doe in New York.
Well,
So
I don't know if it's the same person or not.
Was it a girl who said she was 13 years old and was in Epstein's house with President Trump? Is it the
To be
same
very
one?
honest, I don't remember the full.
1994.
I don't remember the full scope of it. All I remember.
Lisa Bloom. You would remember the lawyer. It was Lisa Bloom. Came out in November 2016.
There was no. It was not Lisa Bloom as the lawyer.
See, this is crazy because he remembers the Jane Doe. He remembers the address being in the Bronx. He remembers what her lawyers said to him, right? He remembers, right? He remembers a lot of things about this, some of the specific details of the grossness of the case. But he doesn't remember if the lawyer was Lisa Bloom. He doesn't remember if it was Katie Johnson, right? I mean, it's pretty weird, guys. You know what I'm saying?
In Epstein's house with President Trump. Is it the
To be
same
very
one?
honest, I don't remember the full. I
1994.
don't remember the full scope of it. All I remember.
Lisa Bloom. You would remember the lawyer. It was Lisa Bloom. Came out in November 2016.
There was no. It was not Lisa Bloom as the lawyer. It was
November
a gentleman,
2016.
and I reached out to him and I said, have you ever met your client?" He said, "No."
I want to know who the lawyer is that he says this is.
No, in fact, that they did. It was a referral to him, and he ended up doing it through the mail. I said, "Really?" So he goes, "Yeah, they sent me. I sent them all the papers to a PO box or something, and then they sent it back, and this was the address." And so he was like, "Listen, I'm dropping this case. I don't know whether or not this person even exists." That was
What year was this? What year was this? I never heard
That
about
was 2000, and that was 2000, and I'll tell you right now. Hold on. It was 2016.
All right.
Oh, so it was in the same year as the
campaign.
It was the same year as the other suit from the Katie Johnson that then became.
It happened around October, November of 2016.
See, dude, October, November of 2016, that was fucking Katie Johnson. And that was 𝗙𝗵𝗋𝗶. And that was a New York suit that didn't use a fake Bronx address, and it was not filed by mail. Dude, he is absolutely talking about Katie Johnson, but with some total bullshit made up details about this.
And the lawyer was like, my apologies, I'm withdrawing the case. I said,
so it
okay.
wasn't the 𝗙𝗵𝗋𝗶 one, because you would have remembered that one.
No.
Yeah. I was thinking about that one because that case also was revoked around the same time in 2016, around the same time that,
No, it was not revoked in 2016.
Yeah, it was. The Katie Johnson was. It was taken. She took it back.
It was November of. She had a press conference set for like November 3rd or something, November 2nd of 2016, and then she backed out. She didn't show up.
And I believe it was November 2016. I can get you the exact date. Yeah, she took it back, and they claimed it was because of intimidation. And I was just wondering, like, did you handle that case? Because obviously Stormy Daniels and Karen McDougal were being handled at the same time.
And they were intimidation. Interesting. Dude, I think he just implicated himself, that they've tried to hunt this person down and they've strong-armed her because he's making up some bullshit about a lawyer saying, oh yeah, we've never heard of this person. We don't even know if they exist. Not true. And we know other girls have talked about getting threatened by Trump. That was his serious MO. And the Katie Johnson case, here, November 2nd, 2016. Okay, Katie Johnson with 𝗙𝗵𝗋𝗶 had a press conference scheduled for November 2nd. And then she didn't show up. And then November 4th, she dropped the case. So he is talking about Katie Bloom. And she did get threatened. And it was probably his private investigator who did it. He is being evasive, but yeah, he's full of shit.
Oh, no.
Do you know who handled it?
Yeah, it was an outside law firm.
It says Alan Garten left in a Politico quotes Alan Garten, who was his in-house attorney.
Then it wasn't 2016, then it was 2017.
No, it's in 2016. The Katie Johnson case has been established in 2016.
That wasn't something that I handled.
You didn't handle that one.
No.
I was just like,
it's like, look at him. No, that wasn't something that I handled. No. But there was another Jane Doe that the New York court doesn't have a record of, right? Oh, that's interesting. Only one Jane Doe filed a case in 2016 in New York in October, November. Only one. She was repped by 𝗙𝗵𝗋𝗶. She had a press conference scheduled for November 2nd. She didn't show up because she got threatened multiple times. November 4th, she withdrew the case. But Michael Cohen didn't work on that case. But he did work on a mystery case around the same time with the Jane Doe that there's no legal record of, that supposedly withdrew it because her lawyer said she didn't exist. And that was after he hired a private eye. Dude, oh Lord, bro. And that is some fake ass shit. Dude, Cohen is not trustworthy, guys. Okay? You know what I'm saying? Like we know this. He was Trump's fixer. I know he sort of bought into the media spotlight and kind of absolved some of his own sins by being a little bit of a tattletale on Trump. But dude, Cohen knows where all the skeletons are buried. He's not a good guy. He's not trustworthy. He fixed and covered and got Trump out of jams. He is a total despicable rat, okay? And yes, all he did, everything he engaged in was just trying to save his own reputation and to give him an identity outside of being the nasty fixer for Trump. So that's what he did. He's smarmy. Okay? He's smarmy. He is. What is up, guys? Thank you so much for watching. You like the video, you want to support independent resistance media, you know what to do. Drop that sub, hit the like button, and please share it. And we do love our members, so if you want to become a member, it's another really great way to support. Thanks again for everything, guys. I'll see you next time. Let's go.